Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my show, welcome to my channel. This video is going to be the start of a new kind of project for me. I'm going to start trying to do the news. I've been doing YouTube for 7-8 years and I've always been into politics. But after watching Sir Penza and Lao Wai pump out this fake anti-China propaganda, it really spurred me. It angered me into action. I would not have started doing YouTube again if it wasn't for them. I would have been very happy to make money and work on my career. Welcome to the New Moves News Show, where I'm going to try my best to counter all this Western propaganda that's being pumped into the internet every day. It's garbage, it's filth, and someone needs to clean it. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for coming. Everything in this video is pretty much a lie. It's 10 minutes, so it'll be a lot of information. I'll debunk as much as I can.
Theories are unproven scenarios. It's been impossible to avoid them in the outbreak of the coronavirus, simply due to the fact that it was completely covered up in the beginning stages in China. This isn't...
No scientist says that this was completely covered up,
which could have prevented this global pandemic. First and foremost, this is the Communist Party of China's fault. And the fact that there are people gasping for breath in their deathbed...
No, it's not the CCP's fault. The whole world watched China convulse in late January as it changed history by locking down an entire province and basically shut down its entire economy to save lives. The US government had a 2-month warning, and its inaction and total failure cannot be blamed on anyone else, as was its unexplainable decision to not test any of its citizens before March.
Our town is solely on the consciences of the CCP and the people who entrusted them to enter our global systems like the WHO.
So he's just trying to spread these fake narratives that the CCP is the source of all evil in the world, which I think is the opposite of the truth in some ways. I think they're the only ones balancing the American empire, being able to go into any country they want, bomb any country they want, fly drones, and invade, and then sanction anyone they want to. And China kind of balances them, China and Russia. Now, because the WHO, which is literally just made up of doctors from around the world that are participating in a global organization that helps warn countries of pandemics, that's their only job. Because the WHO works on facts and science, which these propagandists don't like, they have to smear the WHO, and that's what they've been doing. They've had a full smear campaign because the WHO won't criticize China because there's no reason to criticize China. So anyone that doesn't criticize China, as you can see in the Western media, they will just try to murder them. So like LeBron James didn't criticize China, and you saw what the Western media tried to do to him, right? They just tried to crucify his reputation. And he's such a good guy. So here, because the WHO is acting as a logical scientific body, guys like Lao Wai, these propagandists, they have to do the only thing they know how to do, which is spread gossip, spread fear, spread doubt.
And for 10 years and speaking fluent Chinese, you get to know a society
Lao Wai does not speak fluent Chinese
pretty well. And let me tell you this. If you're applauding or admiring the political leadership of China, you're all deluded beyond belief.
No, you're not. That's just facts.
2018, she had already written 3 articles about how bats can transmit coronaviruses to humans.
This is Dave. He's trying to learn a language that...
Public knowledge. She and her team went south to Yunnan province, although...
That might be true. She might have written a paper on that, but you know what? There's research from all around the world that know about this.
And she was famous for bat studies. They called her Batwoman in some circles. She even received an award for proving bats are natural reservoirs of SARS-like coronaviruses.
Okay, so here what he's trying to do is he's trying to pretend like China was the first country that studied bats and studied the fact that bats are reservoirs for disease. So people have been studying bats for years because the US military and the whole world realizes that bats carry mass amounts of incredibly dangerous diseases, and somehow they can just store them. So they're a reservoir for dangerous viruses. Here in this article, dating you can see from 2007, September, by Samuel R. Dominguez, Thomas J. O'Shea, Lauren M. Oko, Catherine V. Holmes. They wrote an article about coronaviruses in bats in North America. So bats of all kinds, it doesn't matter if they're bats in China or North America, they can all carry these vicious diseases. So of course everyone wants to study bats because maybe that can protect us, right? If we know how bats can hold diseases, maybe we can hold diseases without dying. So you can see here, this is a real article. It's not like Lao Wai's fake articles. If you want to check this site, it's right here, www.ncbi.lmn.nih.gov. I'll just read the abstract because I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to understand everything. But it says here, the epidemic of severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS, was caused by a newly emerged coronavirus, SARS-CoV. Bats of several species in Southern People's Republic of China harbor SARS-like CoVs and may be reservoir hosts for them. To determine whether bats in North America also harbor coronaviruses, we use reverse transcription, PRC, I don't know what this means, to detect coronavirus RNA in bats. We found coronavirus RNA in 6 of 28 fecal specimens, that means shit, right, of 2 of 7 species tested. That's a lot. So they found a lot of coronaviruses. Showed that these Rocky Mountain bat coronaviruses form 3 clusters of phylogenetic group 1 that were distinct from group 1 coronaviruses of Asian bats. So North America has coronaviruses from bats. You guys have your own type. Okay, that's what this is basically saying. The whole world knows about bats, and the whole world has been researching coronaviruses and bats since SARS in 2003, I think it was. Nature magazine, one of the best science magazines of the world. This article was being used for misinformation, so they had the same warning that the Chinese Institute of Virology put out, that please don't spread this fake information, it's not good. So they wrote here, March 20, we are aware that the story is being used as a basis for unverified theories that the novel coronavirus caused COVID-19 was engineered. There's no evidence that this is true. But here in November 2015, this is talking about how scientists, I think in America, were engineering coronaviruses. 2015. And you can go and see this article yourself, nature.com/news/engineered bat virus stirs debate over risky research. This article shows that people have been engineering viruses. Here, the creation of chimera. The argument is essentially a rerun of over whether to allow lab research that increases the virulence, ease the spread or host range of dangerous pathogens, what is known as gain-of-function research. In October 2014, the US government imposed a moratorium on federal funding of such research on the viruses that causes SARS, influenza, and MERS. So they were funding research. The latest study was already underway before the US moratorium began, and the US National Institutes of Health, NIH, allowed it to proceed. But Wayne Hobson disapproves of the study because he says it provides little benefit and reveals little about the risk. Ladies and gentlemen, just want to show you that this Chinese researcher looking into bats, looking into coronaviruses was standard. And there are researchers all around the world that were looking at it, and this US study was doing it. They're even engineering these viruses. I think you can see I'm debunking Lao Wai's idea here that China is somehow the super evil genius that found out all these secrets about bats.
Her to be patient 0, and most people. Huang Yanling was.
They bring in this person called Huang Yanling. And what makes this conspiracy theory so beautiful? This is a technique of introducing a ghost. So he claims that this is the key person that solves the mystery, the patient 0, right? But unfortunately, there's no way to find out if she's real or if she exists because the Chinese and their evil madness have erased her from the internet. In order to create really interesting conspiracy theory, you introduce a ghost. And what this helps your theory to do is it provides this unprovable argument, because you can always say, if you look for evidence of her and you can't find any, it's Chinese government that deleted her. It's bulletproof because it's a circular argument. The Chinese government is evil because they delete people off the internet. How do we know that the Chinese government is evil? It's because they delete people off the internet. But how did you know they deleted people off the internet? We don't know. We just know that they're evil. But how do you know they're evil? Because they delete people off the internet. So it's non-provable. You can't prove it, you can't disprove it. So that's the genius of introducing this made-up character.
Researcher in the lab working on the virology of bats with Shi Zhengli, and she's missing. Most people believe her to be patient 0, and most people believe she's dead. It's gone. So if you look here, if you go to the actual virology website, you can see all the people that were working here or were students. But if you can see...
Let's verify some of his information. Let's check out that website. Wuhan Institute of Virology. All right. So there you go. There's the website. Oh, and there you go. But let's see if we can actually find any of the information that he was talking about, like the pictures of these students. So our team. So here are the research fellows. It's kind of weird because the pictures here are totally different than his pictures. His pictures looked really kind of cheesy. And these are his pictures, very like 1980s. He looks like he just pulled this off a random website. And look at these pictures, they're not professional at all, whereas these pictures are much more professional. Maybe I'm on the wrong part, so let's try research. Maybe it's on a research group. Research groups.
Information about her on the lab website, stating that there were rumors of her disappearance, but she's alive and well.
He claims that this Institute of Virology put out a message saying there are false rumors about Huan Yingling being patient 0. That doesn't exist. This is fake. But I'll show you what they really wrote. They did put out a notice about misinformation, just like what he's doing right now. So we got to go to the Chinese site because that's what he's using. The English site doesn't have any notice like that. But here we can see there was a notice on February. This is the notice of February 19th. Yeah, it must be this one. Okay, so this is February 19th, and this is what they put out. They just said, please don't spread fake information. It's hurting people. This is what it says. And it has nothing to do with this ghost, the so-called, the so-called character that this video is, that they found patient zero. Yeah, okay. So apparently Lao Wai is the greatest investigative journalist on Earth, and he deserves every single journalistic award on Earth because he's the only one that found this out. No one else has. People with IQs of like 160, they weren't able to find patient zero, but apparently this guy has. Okay. Since the outbreak, have resolutely implemented the policies against the epidemic, but recently internet rumors have involved some rumors on our institute, such as that the virus originated here, that the military took it over, that a researcher died, that there was a patient zero, that blah blah blah. There's like millions of rumors saying this is causing a great harm to our staff. Please adhere to science and facts, and don't just spread a bunch of nonsense. When a theory cannibalizes itself, that's when you know it doesn't make sense. For example, he says the Chinese government scrubbed the internet of all the information from Huang Yanling. That's why you cannot find her. Well then, why does everyone know about Li Wenliang, the doctor who told people about SARS virus back in late December? So if he was supposed to be a hero, whistleblower, then why didn't the Chinese erase him from the internet? Doesn't make sense, does it?
And the majority of the researchers at the lab were already suspicious that this virus that they were coming down with was from bats.
Where's the source? Right? Is that? Wait a minute. I'm looking at this. It just looks like this could have been made on a Word document. There's literally zero source here. It looks like an article, right? It has the bold at top. There's like a bolding here and then the article. But we literally have no idea where this comes from. His team could have just written this. It's not written very well. There's a lot of mistakes. This report also questioned that South China's seafood market in Wuhan was the source of the virus. Huang Yanling, a ghost, a female researcher at Wuhan Virus Laboratory, it shouldn't be the Wuhan Virus Laboratory, was also called the patient number zero. Lots of mistakes here. That is the first patient with coronavirus pneumonia to start spreading the virus. This is not a typical header, right? A header doesn't have a whole paragraph of information. So they tried to make it look like a real article, but it's clearly not. What made the incident even more confusing was that when a reporter from the Beijing News of the mainland, is this English? Who wrote this? It doesn't make any sense. And who writes an article like that? What made the incident even more confusing? Is this an opinion piece or actual reporting? Because real reporting, they don't have sentences like this. Because I don't think we were supposed to read this. I think he was just supposed to flash it on the screen and we're all just supposed to believe that this is news. Ask the Institute for rumors about patient zero. Why would a reporter go and ask about rumors? That's not news reporting. The Institute first denied that there was a researcher, Huang Yanling, but after learning that the name of a person on the internet did exist. The name of the person on the internet. Okay. Weird sentence. And why is there a capital A all of a sudden? Okay, so this part's pretty fun. He claims that this is where the lab is.
The professor directly pointed out that the main source of the virus is from the Wuhan lab, which is only 300, or actually 280 meters to be exact, from the Huanan seafood market, where it was a...
This is hilarious. So he claims that the Wuhan lab is 280 meters from the Huanan seafood market. Well, I'm sorry, Lao Wai and your team of propagandists, but that's a bunch of horse shit. Let's go to Baidu Maps. Let's go and take a trip to Wuhan. Huanan. Huanan means South China. Haixian means seafood. Let's see what it says in this video so we can find the right one. Yeah, just exactly this one. Okay, so we're gonna go there so there, that's the same that he has in his video. Hard thing, right? Yeah, Huan. So I see KTV, there's a KTV right here. But we'll zoom in a little bit. But what I'm just trying to show you is that this place is not a lab at all. Actually, it's a disease control center. Every city in China has about 4 or 5 to prevent the spread of disease. If you look at the name here, I'm gonna try to take the words and I'll put it in a translator. This says Wuhan City, Wuhan Shi, 病毒预防控制中心. That's what it says. And if you don't believe me, it's fine. I will prove it. 病毒 means virus. 预防 means prevention. 控制 means control. 中心 means center. Wuhan Virus Prevention and Control Center. That's what this says. Okay, you can look at these characters, and every city in China has many of them. Not many, but 4 or 5. And in case you don't believe me, I will just show it again. 预防控制中心. Virus Prevention and Control Center. It's right there. This is not a lab, guys. This is my first time seeing where it's located, so it's going to be a surprise for you. And a surprise for me too. But I'm sure it's not near the Huanan seafood market as Lao Wai lied in his video. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm just debunking his video, which is full of horseshit. But that's what he sells, and he makes a lot of money selling that. In Chinese, 中国科学院武汉病毒研究所. That means Chinese Science Institute Wuhan Virus Research Place. And let's see where it's located. It's not going to be anywhere near that seafood market. So I'll show you where it is on the map. This is Wuhan University right here. This says Wuhan Daxue, Wuhan University. And then right beside it is the Institute of Virology. This is Chinese. I don't know how to use it. This is Baidu. I want to do directions going to somewhere. How do I do this? Okay. So just remember from the map here, remember that it's beside Wuhan University. This is the seafood market. Right there, number one. And then this is right here is the virology lab. Okay, beside Wuhan University. So I would say that's 15 kilometers. So he was lying, totally. What he was showing you was a disease prevention and control center. If I write virus and control center, I'm gonna find a lot, okay? Because each city in China will have about 4 or 5 offices to help preventing the spread of disease. Yufang means prevention. Kongzhe means control. Zhongxin means center. And if I type that in, there's gonna be a lot of them. It says Wuhan City, virus, Yufang Prevention Control Center. So that's the one that Lao Wai showed you. And there's one here, number 5. There's another one called the Wuchang. So that's Wuchang District Virus Prevention and Control Center. If you don't believe me, I can put it into Google Translate. I'll show you. So see, my Chinese is pretty good. It's the Wuchang District Center for Disease Control and Prevention.
And its danger on a
Man, there's so many ads on his videos. He makes so much money. How are there so many ads?
Watch carefully.
You know, this is weird because YouTube doesn't monetize these videos, but apparently his video is super monetized. Like, none of my videos can be monetized. All of them are deemed by Google as not suitable for ads. That means he's just getting boosted so hard by YouTube. That's what this means.
And letting the virus spread for months is the reason the entire world is infected.
And then he shows this disgusting picture of just pure propaganda against China and China's government.
Deadly pandemic. The Chinese government must be held accountable.
So that's the real purpose of this video. To try to link China with every possible evil in the world. They're the most evil government, they're the most evil everything, blah, 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 blah. We've heard this for years and years and years. Everything in China is fake. Guys, you gotta realize what's real information and not. It's time to wake up and realize China's just like another country. It's different, it is Chinese, it's run on Chinese principles, run on Chinese philosophies, so it is different from your country. That doesn't mean it's evil.
I did not get into any conspiracy theories. I'm not talking about bioweapons or biolabs.
I didn't get into any conspiracy theories. Yeah, that's exactly like someone saying, trust me. Never trust someone that says trust me. That's the last thing you do. Him and his team of propagandists, they win because he's creating doubt and fear. And that's the entire purpose. If someone like me responds, then I'm legitimizing their stupid ideas. And I hope that in my video, all I've done is shut down their stupidity and taught you guys a little bit in hopes that you guys are immune to this kind of fake information. Just like people were denying climate change. Just like the tobacco companies were saying tobacco doesn't cause cancer in the 1980s. All they try to do is cast doubt on the truth, on science. So that everyday people like you and me aren't sure. We don't know what to believe. Hats off to them. That's a masterclass of propaganda. Very good job, but it's a good job for evil. We're trying to always paint China in a bad light. They're apparently these evil geniuses of the world, but at the same time, they're fake and they're poor and they're stupid and they're crazy. It doesn't make any sense. What does make sense is that China is a great culture, is a great civilization, and they're doing a lot of great things. Because they're rising, because their GDP is real, that is very threatening to capitalist Western countries that want to continue their hegemony and dominance on the world. That is real. Okay, guys, that took me a really long time to make. I hope you learned something. I hope you realized that there's some really high-level masterclass propaganda out there, and there are people like me trying to debunk it, but I have a full-time job, so this is very tiring for me. I hope you guys can support me with a donation, because I did spend a few days doing this. I'm not like Lao Wai 86. I don't have a whole team writing for me. Anyways, Lao Wai, if you are watching this, this world needs way less trash like you.